Okay, now we're live on YouTube and on Facebook at the same time. Hope this works. How are you guys doing? I'm in Southern California right now, and I am 2 days away, away from my next big bike tour, leaving on my next big bike tour. And I'll be talking about that in just a moment. Hey, Tim from New Zealand. Awesome. And so I'll be talking about that in just a moment. I signed on a few minutes early just to let people kind of log in, so just hang tight. We'll begin in about 4 minutes or so. I'll be telling you about my new touring bicycle, my plans for my upcoming bike tour in Europe, and I'll be answering any questions that you guys have about my trip, my new bicycle, or about your trips, helping you plan, prepare for, or execute your trips anywhere in the world. So hang tight. All right, we got a few people on Facebook, a few people on YouTube. Hello, everybody. We'll begin here in just a moment. I logged on early just to let people kind of, come into the room or whatever. While you're waiting, like I said just a second ago, let me know where you are from in the world. Every time I do one of these things, there's people from different parts of the world, which is really cool. So, also, let me know if you can hear me okay. See me and hear me. All right. Hello, Darren. Greetings from Belgium. Greetings from Athens. Greetings from the Philippines, from India. Hey, cool, guys. Greetings from Belgium, Poland. Hey, Poznan, Poland. How are you? I might be going there this year just for like a week. We'll see. Hey, Sweden, Michael. I'm going to be headed your way very soon. I'm going to be cycling through, I don't know how you say the name of your town. Skellefteå or something. Yeah. Anyways, Kevin says, you rock, Darren. You've been a huge inspiration to myself and many others. Just got my new AWOL and have a few hundred miles on it. Thanks for the info, man. Cool. That's awesome. Hey, Darren from Finland. I'll be in your country soon. Canada, Montreal, Indonesia, USA, Berlin, in the house. Hi, Darren from the UK. Oh, yeah. Hey, Nick. Nick was talking to me about paragliding. Many of you know, like, I learned to paraglide not too long ago when I was in Romania. I did a bike tour from, where was I? Istanbul, Turkey, up through Belgium, Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, Transnistria, Ukraine, Poland. This was back in 2015. Oh gosh, the years go by too quickly. But anyways, I stopped for a while when I was in Romania, and I took this like month-long paragliding course, and it's like one of the best things I've ever done. The instructor luckily spoke a little English, and yeah, it was really, really fun. I was even in a paragliding competition in Romania while I was there, and was like on the Romanian television, crashing into the stands basically. But anyways, yeah, that was fun. So anyways. Yeah, lots of guys. Come back to Colombia, dude. Estonia. Hey, another great place for cycling. I spent quite a bit of time in Estonia. Maryland, Israel, Athens. Awesome. Ireland, Canada. Lots of people from all over the world. Very, very cool. I'm going to wait just another minute or so before we totally begin, but just wanted to let people kind of come on in. Okay, I'm broadcasting to both Facebook and YouTube right now, so if it doesn't look like I'm looking at your camera, it's because I'm looking at the other camera. So I'm sorry about that, or I'm looking at the comments over here off to the side. But anyways, hello from Germany, hello from Warsaw, Poland. Hey, Klamath Falls, Oregon. Joey says, which country is flat apart from the Netherlands? That's a good question. Well, I'm going to Sweden pretty soon, and it's pretty darn flat. Yeah, Estonia is flat. Parts of Western Belgium, I believe, are really, really nice. Northern Avenger says, I heard the Earth is flat. Yeah. Hello from London, UK. Portland, Oregon. Awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, another Norway, Istanbul, Tuzla, Bosnia. Hey, Tuzla. Cool. Another place I've been. That's the cool thing about my bicycle touring trips, I think, is that like now I've been to 70 plus countries or something like that all around the world. And so it's really cool when people log in from Tuzla, Bosnia, because I've been there and I spent a week there on my bike tour, and or from Poznan, Poland, or anywhere else in the world. So that's really, really cool. Greetings from Bulgaria, another place I've been. And I think seeing you guys in parts of the world that I haven't been yet, the Philippines or Chile, makes me really want to go to those places. So thank you very much. Probably the #1 question that I'm getting asked now is like, when are you coming to wherever you happen to live in the world, the Philippines or Australia or whatever? The world is a very big place, especially when you travel on a bicycle. You're going quite slow. So, you know, I've been to 70 plus countries all around the world on my bicycle, but if I were doing that just as like a regular traveler, like taking buses or something like that, I'd probably have been to a whole lot more countries than that, just because my speed would be so much quicker. Anyways, let's begin. It is 12:02 here in Southern California. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said just a moment ago, I am broadcasting live on both Facebook and YouTube, the Bicycle Touring Pro pages for both of those accounts. So if you're watching in either place, thank you for tuning in. And like I said before, just a moment ago, there's 2 different cameras, and therefore, if it doesn't look like I'm looking at your camera, it's because I'm looking at the other camera, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you guys for tuning in. Today, I just wanted to talk to you briefly because I've kind of been out of touch recently, and that's because I've been busy and just with some personal things, I guess, and also because I've been preparing for my next big bike tour. Many of you know that I just recently finished a 3-month-long bike tour in Ecuador and Colombia in South America, and I've been releasing the videos from that trip slowly on the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel. So there are already several videos up from that bike tour in South America. If you haven't watched them already, I greatly encourage you to go to the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel and watch some of those videos. Not only do I think they will entertain you, but hopefully I think they will give you some information about what bicycle touring is kind of like that you can use to conduct your own bike tours anywhere in the world. And that is really like what I do. I started the website at bicycletouringpro.com back in 2007, over 10 years ago now. And I started that website with the goal of helping people all around the world learn how to plan, prepare for, and execute their dream bike tour anywhere in the world. And I've done that by writing over 1,200 articles about bicycle touring, which are free and up on the website for you right now. I've written 4 books about cycling, which I'll kind of point out to you now. The biggest one is this one, The Bicycle Touring Blueprint. This is the book. It's 400 pages or something like that, 410. And this is the book that teaches you how to conduct your own bike tour anywhere in the world. If you want to learn how to bike tour, the Bicycle Touring Blueprint, you can get it at bicycletouringbook.com or on my website at bicycletouringpro.com. Also, like a lot of people recently, they learned that I'm here and like mailing out the books myself at the moment. So they've been asking if I could autograph the book for them. So yeah, if you buy the book, The Bicycle Touring Blueprint, in the next 24 hours, I will autograph it and send it to you personally myself. So yeah, that's just a little added bonus for those of you who maybe have been waiting. Also, if you go to bicycletouringbook.com and use the discount code YouTube Live, just enter that. There's a coupon code thing there. Enter YouTube Live and you'll get $5 off the cost of the book. So anyways, that's my little promo for the book. But anyways, I've written 4 books about cycling, and I've created, I think, over 400 something videos on the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel, all of which I've done with the aim of helping people conduct their own bike tours all around the world. And I've helped thousands and thousands of people learn how to bike tour, short trips, long trips, guided tours, self-guided tours, and everything in between. So yeah, that's kind of who I am and what I do. My name's Darren, by the way. I don't know if I said that at the beginning, Darren Alf. But yeah, Darren Alf from BicycleTouringPro.com. And the reason I'm doing the broadcast today is because on Thursday, in 2 days, I am leaving on my next big bike tour. I am going to be gone for 3 months, and I'm going to Sweden, Finland, and Norway. And I have a new bicycle for this trip, which is kind of exciting. For those of you who have been following me for the last 5 years or more, you know that I have been riding a CoMotion Cycles Pangea touring bicycle. It's a bike I absolutely love. It's a 26-inch kind of touring bicycle that's made to go off-road or on-road. And this year, I am getting a new bicycle. I have it sitting right to my side, actually. It is a CoMotion Cycles, same company, CoMotion Cycles Siskiyou touring bicycle. So it's a different touring bicycle made by the same company. And this is a very different bicycle than the bike that I had before. It's different because the wheel size is different. I'm using a 650B wheel, which is very non-standard. Generally, like in the bicycle touring world, there are 2 types of wheels or tire sizes. There's 700C wheels or tires, which are used mainly on like road touring bicycles. So if you're planning to cycle mainly on paved roads, you'll oftentimes see these 700C wheels or tires being used. Or there are 26-inch wheels and tires, which are used mostly on bicycles that are going to be used off-road or in some kind of like dirt road, gravel road sort of condition. And so the bike that I used to have, the CoMotion Pangea, was a 26-inch touring bicycle designed to go like I rode it across Africa and South America and things like that. Whereas this new bicycle is a little bit, it's kind of in between. It's kind of in between a 700C and a 26-inch wheel/tire. So it's very non-standard, and I was a little hesitant in ordering this bike just because of the wheel/tire size. But I wanted to give it a try. Like, one of the things that I've done, like I've been doing these long distance bike tours for 17 years now. And every time I hit the road again, I try to do something different, something that I did not do on the previous bike tour, to try out a new piece of gear, or try out managing my tour in a different way, like doing shorter distances, longer distances, stopping for a week in one place or stopping for a month in one place, that sort of thing. So I'm always trying to like experiment and change things. And this year, the main thing that I'm changing is my bike. So not only does the bike have different size wheels and tires than most touring bicycles, but my new bicycle is equipped with the pinion gearing system. So this is really, really unique, and unfortunately, I don't have a picture or anything to show you, and the bike is fully packed inside of its case at the moment, so I can't show you right now, but I will show you later. The bike has a pinion gearing system, which means that all of the gearing for the bicycle is basically inside this box at the bottom of the frame. So they're like a traditional bicycle has the gears and the cassette and the derailleur and stuff all on the outside of the bike, and you can kind of see it and touch it and that sort of a thing. It's all metal, right? Well, this pinion gearing system is basically a box, kind of like, imagine a motorcycle motor just mounted on the bottom of your bicycle, and it's all inside of the frame, so you can't actually see any of the gears or anything like that. And then there's basically, instead of a chain, there is no metal chain, there's a carbon belt, kind of like what you would see in a car or something like that. Like if you lifted up the hood of your car and saw these belts running back and forth between the motor and whatever, that's what you're gonna see on my new bicycle. And yeah, it's really, it's kind of new technology, really. And I think you're going to be seeing more of this sort of thing in the touring world in the future, especially if it turns out that these things are incredibly reliable. That is one of my big fears with this new bike, is that, you know, when you use a standard, you know, chain and derailleur and all that sort of a thing, if the bike breaks, you can take it to any bike shop basically and they will repair it. But with this new pinion gearing system, it's so new and so unique that most bike shops are not going to know how to do any repairs to this thing. It's supposed to not break. It's supposed to be like indestructible, but we shall see. So this year is very much a test of my new Co-Motion Cycles Siskiyou touring bicycle with the pinion gearbox and the Gates carbon belt drive. So it's going to be awesome, and I will show it to you as soon as I arrive in Sweden. Let me just stand up for a moment. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a suitcase, and my bike is inside this suitcase right now. So I can't really show you the bike, but it's in here. It's all ready to go. It's packed for Sweden. And what's really cool, I guess, about this bike as well is that it folds down and fits inside of a suitcase, because the frame splits in half. The frame of the bike splits in half, and that allows me to pack it in the suitcase and fly with it essentially for free as checked baggage on pretty much any airline in the world. So I'm flying, I think, with SAS or something like that to Sweden. And yeah, I check my bag just like I do any other normal piece of baggage, which is really, really cool. And they don't even know that there's a bicycle in here. Ugh. And someone asked, is it heavy? The truth is, yes, it is pretty heavy. I think the pinion gearing system that is on my new bicycle makes the bike a little bit heavier, but I'm not sure quite how much heavier at this point. I will let you know. But yeah, so anyways, that's my new bicycle. Like I said, I will be arriving in Sweden on Friday, and I'll be posting photos and videos and stuff of me putting the bike together and that sort of a thing once I arrive there. So make sure you stay tuned to all of Bicycle Touring Pro's social media accounts so you can see the new bike when it arrives. I've already posted some sneak peeks on my Instagram account, so if you're on there, check it out. It's pretty cool. What else do I want to talk about? New touring bike. Well, yeah, I mean, just like I mentioned a moment ago, like if you want to get the Bicycle Touring Blueprint, you can get it at bicycletouringbook.com. Order it in the next 24 hours. I'll sign it for you. And if you use the discount code YouTube Live, you get $5 off the book. I have also written, whoops, upside down, The Essential Guide to Touring Bicycles, which is a book designed to help you pick out your ideal touring bicycle. If you're in the market for a new bike, this is the book that you want to read. And also, if you order this in the next 24 hours, I will sign it, and same discount code, YouTube Live, get $5 off as well. So there you go. Plans for my bike tour. My plans for my bike tour are, I fly into Umeå, Sweden. Umeå, as many of you might know, is where I finished my last 2 bike tours in Europe. I finished my trip in Umeå, Sweden, and this year I am beginning my bike tour in Umeå, Sweden, and heading north, high north, up through Lapland, Finland, up above the Arctic Circle, all the way to the North Cape, or North Cape, Norway. And this is basically, I'm riding to the northernmost point in all of mainland Europe. That's where I'm going. So it's going to be, even though like I'm going there in June, in the middle of summer basically, or start of summer, it's going to be cold, I think. And I'm bringing like full-blown winter gear. I'm not making that mistake again. And yeah, I'm going to be prepared for some cold weather, I think. So that is essentially the plan, is to ride from Umeå, Sweden up to North Cape, Norway, and then back to Umeå, Sweden, kind of in a big circle, going through Sweden, Finland, and Norway. So yeah, it's going to be really awesome. I'm looking forward to it. That trip is going to be about 30 days long, so 1 month on the road by myself, camping in the forest, swimming in lakes and rivers, fending off bears at night. No, hopefully not. Hopefully that's not the case. But there are bears and wolves and wolverines and things like that up in Lapland, Finland, where I am going. So that's a real possibility, actually. But Phil says, have you ever encountered bears? On any of my bike tours anywhere in the world, no, not really. I saw a bear when I was in Romania, but it was dead. It had been hit by a car. So that was the only bear that I've ever actually seen while I was on a bike tour. But even seeing a dead bear makes you realize, oh my goodness, there are actually bears out here. So yeah, I did, like, just to tell a story, in 2003, I cycled from North Carolina up to Maine during one of my summer breaks between university. And I was in, where was I? I was in Virginia, the state of Virginia. I had just entered the state. And I was in this remote, like, farmland area and on a dirt road. And I came around the road and went to the left a little bit around this corner. And off to my left, just sitting right on the side of the road, was a large golden animal just sitting there, like gold fur, you know? And at first, I just thought it was a big dog or something sitting there on the side of the road, like literally 6 feet away from me, 2 meters, right? And at first, I just thought it was a big dog. But then when the animal saw me, it jumped up and started running alongside my bicycle. And the tail on this animal was about 3 feet long. And it was that moment that I realized this thing was not a big dog. It was a mountain lion. And it was running right along the side of my bicycle, and then it darted off into the trees. Basically, I scared it, you know? But yeah, that is probably the scariest thing that has ever happened to me on any of my bike tours anywhere in the world, was running into that mountain lion in Virginia. So yeah, no bear encounters, and hopefully there will be no bear encounters on this trip. But there are bears out there. So Gustav says, will you take bear spray with you this time? I don't think I'm going to be honest. I'm not really that worried about it. I was worried. I went to Alaska last fall, and I was really worried about the bears while I was there. But yeah, I'm not so worried about it on this particular trip. Yeah, Northern Avenger says bear spray is illegal in Norway. And that might be the case in Sweden or Finland too. I'm not exactly sure. So bear spray is essentially like a giant canister of pepper spray. So yeah, there are some rules about that. But anyways, Wolfgang says, what makes Sweden that attractive to you in regards to cycling? Well, there's a number of things that I like about Sweden. Like I actually hesitated on going to any of like the Nordic countries for a long time. I kind of left those countries until later in my bicycle touring career, and I wish I hadn't, because now that I've been there, I really like Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark, etc. And even the countries like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. The reason I like those places, I guess, is largely because of the nature and the lack of vehicle traffic on so many of the roads. Not all the roads, of course, but so many of the roads. There are bike paths in a lot of these places, and even when there aren't bike paths, you're kind of cycling on quiet country roads with cars passing only occasionally. And this is something that I think, as the world becomes more and more populated, is becoming more and more rare. The ability to find places in the world where it is safe and comfortable and enjoyable to go bicycle touring. You know, I just recently completed this bike tour in South America, and one of the things I realized while I was down there was, even though I was enjoying it, the vehicle traffic and the just people traffic in general, there's just people everywhere, was not so enjoyable to me. You know, I kind of wanted, there were days on the trip where I was like, today, my only goal is to get away from people. And even on those days when I was trying to find a place to get away from people, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. There was just nowhere peaceful to be alone. So that's what I kind of like about Sweden, I guess, and many of its neighboring countries, is the fact that like you can, oftentimes at least, depending on where you are in the country, cycle for just a few minutes, be out in the forest on a road that you have completely to yourself. You can camp out there for free, which is another nice thing. Like, it's legal to camp in the forest. Like, you aren't breaking the law or having to do it stealthily or anything. So that's also nice. And I also like the fact that so many people in Sweden, Norway, Finland, etc., speak English. You know, again, like I've traveled to maybe like 40. I've traveled to 70 different countries or so where they speak 40 different languages, and I obviously do not speak 40 different languages. So when I'm in those places, I have to basically like entertain myself because I can't talk to the locals, right? So anyways, but I don't know. Just being able to communicate with the locals is kind of nice, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's why I'm going back to that area this year. And then after I do my Sweden, Norway, Finland trip, I am going to be flying back to America. And I have to do some stuff in Southern California for a little while. But then after that, I'm going to be driving around the Western United States and going to some of the some of the best areas for cycling. I'm going to be going up to Oregon, Washington. I'm going to do some stuff in Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, that sort of thing, and show you some of the best places to go bicycle touring, maybe on like shorter trips, not a month-long trip, but like something that you could do over the weekend or in like 5 to 7 days, something like that. So I'm going to be showing you 2 to 7 day bike tours that you can do all across the Western United States. And I'm really excited for that because as many of you know, like I've been doing bike tours all around the world for the last 17 years, but for the last 11 years or so, I've been doing largely international tours outside of the United States. So this year, I'm going to bring my bike tours back to America, where so many Bicycle Touring Pro readers actually live. And I'm going to show you some of the best areas for bicycle touring here in the Western US of A. So that's the plan, guys. Let's see. What else? Do you guys have any questions? Basically, I just wanted to tell you about my trip, tell you about my new bike today, and see if you guys had any questions. I know many of you are starting your bike tours right now. Like, this is the prime season for bicycle touring, like May, June, July, August, September, those months. There are tons of people out there bike touring, and I hope that you are going to be one of them. So if I can help you in any way, you know, my books, I've written these books so that you can study and prepare at home. I have tons of videos on the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel and thousands of, not thousands, but hundreds of articles on the Bicycle Touring Pro website. So I hope you use some of those resources that I've created. And if I can answer any questions for you guys now, let me know. Kevin says, can't wait to see your posts when you're on the road. Yeah, so, well, that's the other thing too, is so right now I am still releasing the videos from my bike tour in Ecuador and Colombia. There's already a bunch of those videos up now on the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel. You can go and watch them now. But I will be releasing 2 new videos each week for the next 4 weeks or so. So the entire time that I am biking in Sweden, Finland, and Norway, you guys will be watching my videos from Ecuador and Colombia. And then as soon as I finish my bike tour in Sweden, Finland, and Norway, I'll begin editing and uploading the videos from that trip. So the videos kind of run behind because they take me time to edit, and I can't really like edit them when I'm out in the forest. So yeah, so there's still like a whole month's worth of videos from my Ecuador and Colombia trip that are going to be released slowly on the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel over the next month or so. And then the new videos from Ecuador, or I'm sorry, from Sweden, Finland, and Norway will be posted after that. Reinhardt46 says, do you edit your own videos? Yes, I edit all the, I shoot the videos, star in the videos, and edit all the videos. Sam says, did you meet someone in Colombia. No, I did not. I met some other bike tourists in Ecuador and Colombia, but not this person that you're mentioning. Says, is any good your portable solar panel? How many watt power is that? So yeah, so I use a voltaic 6-watt solar panel to power my smartphone and GoPro camera and bike lights, essentially, on my bike tours. And yeah, that's what I use. It's go to bicycleturnpro.com and type in solar panel or solar charger, and you'll see the list of the solar chargers that I use. You can also type in 2016 or 2015 bike tour packing list, and you'll see a complete detailed list of everything I packed on my bike tour, including my solar panel. So yeah. Oh, Hackabo Productions says, where do you leave your luggage? That's a good question, actually. So on a lot of my bike tours in the past, or I start in one location. Let's say I start in London, England, and I finish the bike tour in a different location, maybe Istanbul, Turkey, right? And so on those trips, I don't normally pack my bicycle in a suitcase. I pack my bicycle inside of a cardboard box, so that once I arrive in London with my bike at the beginning of the tour, I simply throw the cardboard box away. And then when I get to Istanbul, Turkey, at the end of my tour, I pick up a new bicycle, or a new cardboard box, pack my bicycle inside the box, and then fly home. On this particular trip, I'm packing my bike inside of a actual suitcase. And so I planned my trip this year so that I would basically be doing a round trip. So I'm actually starting and ending my bike tour in the city of Umeå, Sweden. So while I'm going to fly into Umeå, and when I get there, I have a friend who actually lives in Umeå, Sweden. He's going to pick me up at the airport. He's going to host me at his home for the first 2 nights of my tour. And I should mention, for you guys planning your own trips, I'm not just like hitting the ground, hitting the ground running as soon as I get there. Like I scheduled 2 days to put my bike together, recover from jet lag, get some food, see my friends, that sort of a thing at the beginning of the trip. You don't want to just like land after a 16-hour flight and start biking. Like, that is just painful. I've done it before and it's not fun. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm staying with my friend Mats, who lives in Sweden, and he has agreed to store my suitcase for me while I'm away on my bike trip, right? So as soon as I get to Sweden, I unpack my bike, I leave the suitcase with him, and then at the end of my trip, I come back to his house, pack up my suitcase, and then fly home. So that is the plan. Somebody was asking, am I coming back to Poznan, Poland? And the answer might be yes, actually. I do have enough time at the end of my trip this year where I have, many of you know, like I've spent like 5 months in the city called Poznan, Poland. It's in Western Poland. And I have a bunch of friends there. And so I'm thinking of going back just for like a week at the end of this bike tour, just to see my friends. So it's very possible I will be back in Poznan. It would be great to meet up with you. Okay, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm trying to read through all your comments here. Phil says, got all my stuff ready, bike, panniers, camping gear, want to go solo. Trouble is, I've got a lot of anxiety making the first step. Phil, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was out of my mind nervous the first time I did my first bike tour. Like, out of my freaking mind, I had so much anxiety. And even after I did my first tour and completed it successfully, my second bike tour, I was just as nervous. And my third bike tour, just as nervous after that. And now, 17 years later, I still get nervous. I think I'm way less nervous now than I was at the beginning. Now I get nervous about like my bike getting lost on the airline or damaged or something like that. I'm not so nervous about being able to do the tour because I've done 17 years of biking and I know that I can basically push my bike up the biggest mountain. So that may be something that you're still hesitant about, is like whether you can actually do this. I'm going to tell you that I think you probably can, as long as you take it slow at the beginning. Like you don't want to go into any bike tour pushing yourself too hard at the beginning. That's like the biggest mistake that most people make. So just take it easy at the beginning of the trip. And one thing I've mentioned like several times on Bicycle Touring Pro before is that you want to start your bike tour so that you finish, say, the first day of riding. You finish that first day of riding feeling like, wow, that was an awesome day. I had so much fun, and I can't wait to do that again tomorrow. You do not want to finish that first day of bicycle touring, and you do not want to feel like, oh my gosh, that was so hard. I am in so much pain. There is no way I can do this tomorrow. That is not what you want to be experiencing at the end of your first day. So you got to take it easy that first day. You gotta be easy on yourself. Plan shorter distances. I usually tell people, you know, if you're planning to average like 50 miles or 80 kilometers per day, you need to cut that in half for your first day on the road. So maybe you only do 20, 25 miles on your first day, or 40 or 50 kilometers, something like that, 30 or 40 kilometers maybe. And just keep it really, really short, because you want to finish that bike tour and on the first day feeling good and feeling excited to do it again the following day. So I think if you do that, your anxiety will be a lot lower. But to be completely honest, like that anxiety that you are feeling right now is normal, and I think most people feel that, but it will go away once you get out there on the road. It usually takes, I think, for me at least, like the first 12 hours or so, I'm pretty nervous. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm here, I'm good, everything's good, my bike is working, I'm going okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm making forward progress, and that's all that matters, right? So, yeah, that's my advice for you. Larry says, thumbs up on your drone, beautiful additions to your videos. Yeah, for the last year or so, I've been carrying a drone on my bicycle, and this year I'm not taking my drone to Sweden, Finland, and Norway, largely because I'm spending most of my time in Sweden. And as far as I understand, please correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I understand, drones are no longer allowed in Sweden. I had a drone when I was there last year, and drones were allowed. This year, however, drones, as far as I know, have been banned. Any drone with a camera on it in Sweden is no longer allowed unless you get like a commercial license or something like that, which sucks. And because most of my bike tour this year is going to be in Sweden, I decided just not to bring the drone at all, because even though I am going to Finland and Norway, where I do believe drones are allowed, my time there is going to be very minimal in comparison to the time that I spend in Sweden. So it's a bummer. It's a bummer. Michael says, yes, drones are not allowed. Correct. Northern Avenger says, Sweden, no. I know it's a huge bummer. But I still have the drone, and I will be using the drone when I come back to the United States. And you'll be seeing the drone again here on my bike tours in the US of A. So there we go. Sammy says, do you like Umeå, Sweden? Yes, I love Umeå, Sweden. It's one of my favorite cities, like in all of Europe. It's one of those cities that most people have probably never heard of. It's a smaller city. It's the largest city, I think, in northern Sweden, but it's still like a very small city by like big city standards. Yeah, I like it there because the city center is very nice and small, and people are friendly. It feels super safe. There's tons of people on bikes, bike paths everywhere. But the thing I think I like most is the nature that surrounds the city. There are rivers. There's the big bay there. There's all these lakes and stuff that you can cycle to. There's forests within, 3 minutes of the city center. You can be out in the forest, riding your bike along the edge of the river. And I just think that's awesome. You can't do that in a lot of parts of the world. So anyways, Don says, dude, you need to go to Africa. I've been to Africa. I've cycled across Africa a couple times. So I want to go back to Africa. I really do. I think if I were to do Africa again, though, however, I wouldn't go for as long as I have in the past. Like I'd probably just do like a month-long trip or something like that. Because Africa really wore on me after a while, to be completely honest. So I think it would be good just to go there and then get out. Let's see. Someone says they're going on a bike tour here. Oh, I lost your comments. Oh, there. So I'm going on a bike tour tomorrow. I can't see it. The comments are coming in too quick. Angel says, what happened to my Pangea touring bicycle? I still have it. I might use it on my upcoming bike trip here in the United States. I don't know. I'm just kind of keeping that bike for the moment to see which bike I like more. Maybe I'll get rid of one in the future. Maybe I won't. But I do actually have 2 touring bicycles that I am selling right now. So if you are in search for a bicycle, let me know. Contact me through the Bicycle Touring Pro Facebook page or through the contact button on bicycletouringpro.com. I wrote an article and posted the photos of the bikes that I have for sale on the Bicycle Touring Pro Facebook page. So check that out. I have a used Fuji touring bicycle for sale. This is the first touring bike that I basically ever bought for myself. And I used it to ride up the East Coast of the United States. I rode across Europe on it one time. It's a really good starter touring bicycle. Brand new, this bike costs about $1,200 or so. I'm selling the bike for $500 or make me an offer, basically. And yeah, it's a really good, it's starter touring bike. It's not the high quality like Co-Motion that I have, but if you're just getting into bicycle touring and you're looking for a good road touring bicycle, contact me. I got a good bike for you. I'm in Southern California too, so if you're in the area, that would be ideal. I'm also selling a Bike Friday New World Tourist folding bicycle. This is a bike that folds up, fits inside of a suitcase, very similar to my new bike, but it's got small 20-inch wheels on it. And this is the bike that I rode across Aruba. I rode across Europe on this in 2009, I believe, or yeah, I don't know, something like that. And yeah, it's a full-blown touring bicycle, but in like a small, compact folding bicycle size. So it's a really unique bike. And that bike, I'm selling the bike, the rear rack, the trailer. It has a trailer that you tow behind it, and a suitcase. All of that comes together. And brand new, that's like over $2,000, and I'm trying to get like $750, $800 for the bike right now. So if you're interested, let me know. I can mail both of the bikes to you if you don't live in Southern California, but I'd have to charge you for shipping. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, contact me if you want a bike. What else, guys? What else? Have you ever had a companion touring, and how did you find it? Yeah, I've ridden with like dozens and dozens of different people over the years, actually. Most of my bike tours have been alone, but yeah, I've ridden with all sorts of people, men, women, children, dogs, and yeah, it's been good. I think, you know, every person that you bike with is different. That's the thing. Like it's hard to summarize the experience of traveling with other people into one like lump thing, because like traveling with one person is so very different than traveling with another person. And I talk about that a lot inside the Bicycle Touring Blueprint, like how to find your ideal touring partner, how to find, you know, someone that's going to complement you once you get out there on the road. Because a lot of people make the mistake of basically like going with the first person that offers to ride with them. And I understand that, because like a lot of people don't want to ride alone, and they just are desperate to get someone to ride with them on their trips. But I think that can also be a huge mistake, because if you pick the wrong person to ride with you on a tour, your trip can become like really sucky, basically. And a lot of bike tours, especially like long distance bike tours, like I know a lot of people that they plan to cycle around the world with their best friend or something, but they only get about halfway before they drive each other crazy and break up, or one person goes home early or whatever. So I give you some strategies in the book, not only on like how to find a good travel partner, but how to remain good travel partners once you get out there on the road. Things like breaking up and not necessarily spending all your time together. Like that's one of my big tips for people that are cycling together for a very long time, is the fact that each person in the party needs to be able to ride by themselves, at least for part of the tour. Because if you spend every waking moment with your touring partner, you are surely going to drive each other crazy. So you need to have some alone time while you're out there on the road, and that means that each of the people needs to have the ability to be on their own at some point. So I've ridden with people in the past that I felt like I could not leave them alone, and that made the tour a little bit more difficult. So yeah, that's one of my big pieces of advice, is like, yeah, just keep that in mind. Rick says, how do we get your book? You can get it at bicycletouringbook.com. It's also on my website at bicycletouringpro.com. And like I said earlier in the webcast, if you order it in the next 24 hours, I'll sign it for you, write a little message for you on the inside perhaps. And if you use the coupon code YouTube Live, you'll get $5 off the cost of the book. So anyways, that's where you get it, bicycletouringpro.com or bicycletouringbook.com. What else? Any questions, guys? Sorry, I'm looking at both the questions and comments on both YouTube and Facebook, so I'm switching back and forth. Don Quixote says, I have your book and it is excellent. Thank you, Don. What is the top 3 tips for a bike tour from Portugal to France in September? My top 3 tips, oh gosh, I don't know. My top 3 tips would be, that's so general of a question, I'm not sure. My top 3 tips would be, make sure that you plan your bike tour so that you have things along the way to look forward to. I think a lot of people make the mistake of planning a bike tour and only having that end goal in mind. So like if your bike tour is from Portugal to France, you're dreaming about making it to Paris, France, let's say. And you maybe haven't thought about all of the cool places that you're going to cycle past in between. So I would encourage you to think more about the places in between that you are going to experience on the way to your end goal. That is one of the ways that I think you can enjoy your bike tour a whole lot more, is so you aren't just thinking about the finish line, you're thinking about enjoying yourself on every step of the trip. So that's the first thing I'd recommend. Sorry, thirsty guys. Second thing I would recommend for a long distance bike tour like that is that you have a good bicycle. You know, having the right bike makes such a big difference. You don't have to go out and buy a big expensive bicycle like the one that I just got. I've been doing this for 17 years. I consider myself the bicycle touring pro, and I take my bicycle touring adventures very seriously. That being said, you do not need to go out and buy a very, very expensive bike if you're just getting started. Something like the $500 bike that I'm selling myself, my Fuji touring bike, is a great bike to get started on. But you need to have a bike that works well, that is capable of carrying the gear that you're going to be carrying, and that sort of a thing. Having the right bike, having a bike that functions properly, will make your bike tour so much more enjoyable. And the third thing that I would recommend is that you want to stay safe out on the road. Obviously, a lot of people are concerned about car traffic and stuff when they're riding, and that is a big concern. The other big concern is about getting their bike stolen and that sort of a thing. And that's a concern as well. I don't think it's quite as big of a concern as most people think it is. Depends on where you're going in the world and that sort of thing. But yeah, one of the things that like I am constantly aware of when I am bicycle touring, like with my upcoming bike tour, for example, I'm going to be cycling by myself, and I'm going to be in some relatively remote areas. And that means that like I am going to be very careful. Like I am not going to be taking the risks that I might take when I am here at home, because like if I were to fall and break my arm or leg or something here at home, I know that I could get to the hospital very quickly. I could pick up the phone and call someone, um, and get help very quickly. But when you're out on a remote, long distance bike tour in a foreign country by yourself, you got to be a little bit more careful. And that's careful in the way that you watch your bicycle to make sure it doesn't get stolen, careful in the way that you ride your bicycle so that you don't get hit by cars or, fall off the bike and fall into the gutter or whatever. And careful in where you choose to sleep at night, careful in who you choose to travel with as your travel partner. So all of that, and so I think like when I am touring, I'm just way more careful than I probably am in my everyday day-to-day life. It kind of sucks, to be honest, that I have to be that way, but like when I'm approaching people, for example, I am like very skeptical or cautious of like what their motives are for talking to me. Like sometimes some parts of the world, people will come up to you and they're just very curious about your trip. Other times I'm not quite sure if they're more curious about the trip or my gear or, that sort of thing. And so that's when my alarm bells start to go off, and sometimes it can be very hard to tell who to trust when you're out there on the road. I've told the story before, but a bicycle touring pro reader, a woman, recently wrote to me, and she was doing a bike tour in Colombia. She flew into Bogota, Colombia, and on the very first day of her trip, she was like trying to go into a supermarket to get some food, and some stranger approached her and said like, "Hey, do you want me to watch your bike while you go into the store?" And she was like, "Oh my God, that would be so wonderful. Thank you so much." And she went into the store, left the bike with this complete stranger, and when she came out, the bike and the stranger were gone. First day of her trip. So it's those sorts of things that like you got to be very careful about. And I don't mean to like scare you or anything, but I just think that when you are doing a long distance bike trip, the goal is to reach the finish line. And you can't do that if you lose your bike, you lose your gear, you hurt yourself, you get sick, etc. So just be careful, I guess. That is my thing. Be careful and have fun. Have fun. I think some people forget that part too, is like bike touring does not have to be a suffer fest. The goal of bike touring is to enjoy yourself. So don't necessarily feel like you have to cover a certain amount of distances every day, or like somebody asked me about Strava recently, and no, I do not use Strava. And part of the reason I don't use Strava is because I don't view my bike tours as a competition. I think Strava, comparing yourself to other bikers and stuff like that, it kind of goes against a lot of the bike touring mentality as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's why I don't use it. That's why I don't record my tours, because I don't really want people writing to me and being like, "I did the same trip and I did it 3 days faster than you did it." It's like, I don't really care. I think that a lot of people that get into bike touring kind of feel the same way. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but anyways, 10 more minutes, guys, and then I gotta go. If you have any questions, let me know. Sun Kyo Choi says, sorry, I totally butchered your name, says, should I bring my panniers inside the mall while shopping? Or it depends, to be honest. Sometimes, yes, you might need to do that. Other times, no, it just depends. It's really hard to tell. If you're going in for a long time, I would say absolutely yes. If you're running into a store just for a few moments to like buy some Gatorade or something, then probably not. So yeah, it just depends. Darren, any safety issues with migrants while riding through Sweden? Any areas to avoid, and how is your health? This is a question I've been getting a lot recently. I think because there's been a lot of news about all of the immigrants coming into Sweden. To be honest, I've barely seen any immigrants, refugees in Sweden. While I was there, I did see a few, but they're just going about their day, to be honest. They're shopping, they're playing with their kids. They're just normal people. So no, I have not had a problem. I know that there have been a few problems in Sweden, but I think most of that is in communities in and around Stockholm, Sweden, where there are large refugee populations. Where I am going on my particular trip, that's not the case. So no, haven't had any problems. How is my health? Thank you for asking. Some of you might not know, but I was recently diagnosed with cancer. And yeah, and that was about 1.5 years ago that I had an emergency surgery, and it took me 5-6 months to recover from that. But I've since cycled across 9 different countries all around the world, in Europe, North America, and South America. So I'm doing okay. My last couple bike tours, I mean, if you've been watching my videos, haven't gone too well, and I think that's largely because I've been in my head too much post-cancer and everything. But I'm doing a lot better now. I recently passed all of my latest tests, CT scans, blood tests, doctor visits, all that fun, boring cancer stuff. Doing a lot better now, and I'm hoping that this bike tour in Sweden, Norway, and Finland is going to go a lot better than my last couple bike tours have gone. I feel like mentally I'm a bit stronger. I don't know if physically I am, but mentally I'm stronger, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So anyways, okay, yeah. Yeah, Michael says, the recent news about Sweden is greatly exaggerated. As Darren says, it's mostly around Stockholm and Malmö. Fran says, what kind of maps do you use? Well, again, I talk about that inside the blueprint. I also talk about that in my Bicycle Touring Pro coaching course. Basically, I use an app on my phone called maps.me. I'm trying to find my phone. Oh, it's broadcasting live right in front of me. But I use an app called maps.me on my phone to navigate. That's essentially what I use. And I'm trying to find it here, but yeah. And so I have my entire route for all of my bike tours basically pre-programmed into my phone using this application. And it's an offline mapping application, which means that it does not require the internet to use. So it's not like Google Maps. It's different in that you download the maps to your phone before you hit the road. And then once you're out there on the road, you can basically, like for Sweden, for example, I download the map for all of Sweden. And then once I'm in Sweden, I don't need to access the internet anymore. All of the information for Sweden is now stored on the hard drive of my phone. And yeah, that's how I navigate. So your smartphone is such an incredible tool, and it's totally changed the way people are bicycle touring nowadays. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you can use it for navigation, entertainment, looking up information about hotels, restaurants, where to stay, contacting people for free places to stay through warmshowers.org, all that sort of thing. So yeah, your smartphone is such a powerful tool. You know, a lot of people go out and buy an extra GPS for their bike tours, and I don't think that's necessary. I think you can use your phone probably. And like I said, use the phone for keeping in touch with your friends and family back home. Use the phone for entertaining yourself while you're out there on the road. I like to read ebooks while I'm in my tent at night, or listen to podcasts, listen to music, that sort of a thing. So your smartphone is such a powerful tool. And when I first started bicycle touring 17 years ago, we didn't have technology like that. It's just totally changed the way so many people bike tour. I used to use paper maps, and I still kind of do sometimes. Like for this upcoming bike tour in Sweden, I do have a paper map. I'm trying to find it here. I forget where I put it exactly. I'm not sure where I put it now. But anyways, I have a paper map somewhere. No, I don't know where it went. But anyways, I have a paper map that I use like as an emergency backup, just in case my phone like were to die or something when I get out there on the road. But it's a small, like broad overview of Sweden basically and the route that I plan to take. So yeah, Loris22 says, how big battery is big enough? I'm not sure what you mean. For your phone, you mean? I don't know. I usually carry my phone, and I have a solar panel that charges an external battery, and that's what I'm going to be taking with me to Sweden. So yeah, that's what I use to keep my phone powered up. And I basically drain the battery while I'm cycling during the day, and then at night, the solar panel, well, as I'm riding, the solar panel is charging this backup battery. And then at night, I connect the backup battery to my phone and charge my phone back up to 100%. And then I just repeat that process day after day after day. And that's how I keep my smartphone charged. Also, obviously, like if you're staying in campgrounds or hotels or that sort of a thing, then you can charge your phone there too. So Michael says, how many different cameras do you bring on your tour? In the past, I've carried as many as 5 different cameras. On this trip, I'm gonna have 4 because I'm not carrying the drone. This is gonna be my main camera. This is a Canon G7X Mark II. It's a pretty expensive point and shoot camera. It's got a little flip screen here, so when I'm vlogging and talking to myself, I can see myself on the camera. But this little camera, I've just bought it. It's quite expensive. It cost me about $900 with all of the batteries and everything that go with it. I also have another point and shoot camera, like a lesser version of this that I'm shooting some of the video blogs with. I use my smartphone as a backup camera, just an emergency sort of camera. And then I also have a small GoPro camera that I'm carrying with me as well. So yeah. Someone said, how do you hold your phone okay to your bike? To be honest, I do not use a special like bike phone mount on my bike. I just carry the phone in my handlebar bag, and whenever I need to look at the phone, I just pull the phone out of my handlebar bag and look at it. And sometimes I'm doing that while I'm riding. So I do not have the phone mounted to my handlebars like 100% of the day, and I probably wouldn't even if I did, like largely because I'd be worried about the sun damaging my phone. I don't know if that's a realistic fear or not, but it's one of my fears. So I keep my phone in my handlebar bag. I don't look at it all the time. I don't have it on all the time necessarily even. I just turn it on or look at it whenever I need to make a turn. Alexi says, dear Darren, what about Russia? Well, many of you know that I have been trying to cycle across every country in Europe. And right now, there are about 50, 55 countries or something like that in Europe. Right now, I have cycled across every country in Europe except for 3. And those 3 countries are Belarus, Cyprus, and Russia. So I've only got 3 countries left. And I was hoping to hit one of those countries at least this year, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I'm going to have to save Russia for another time, I guess. But yeah, Russia, I want to go there. I do. So yeah, this is the camera I carried in the past. I'm not going to be carrying this big bad boy on this particular bike tour. I'm trying to reduce my weight a little bit. So this is going to be my main photo and video camera. Just a few more minutes. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's it. It's 1 o'clock here, guys. I gotta go. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was kind of fun or entertaining for you. I can't wait to share my new bike, my new CoMotion Cycles Siskiyou touring bicycle with you. You will see it as soon as I arrive in Umeå, Sweden on Friday. And I can't wait to share my 2017 summertime bike tour in Europe with you, traveling through Sweden, Finland, and Norway. If you haven't done so already, make sure you are subscribed to the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel. I will be releasing 2 new videos per week for the next month. Videos from my bike tour in Ecuador and Colombia are coming out soon, and the videos from Sweden, Norway, and Finland will be after that. If you haven't already gotten a copy of the Bicycle Touring Blueprint, pick it up at bicycletouringpro.com. Enter the code YouTube Live and get $5 off. Order in the next 24 hours, and I will personally sign your copy and send you a short note to wish you luck on your own bike tours. Thank you guys for watching. I enjoy sharing my trips with you. It really motivates me when I'm out there on the road. And more than that, I enjoy hearing from you guys whenever you have conducted your own bike tours. So if you do actually get out there on the road and conduct your own bike trip, whether it's just a short weekend trip or a trip all the way around the world, make sure you send me a photo of you and your bike. Tell me a little bit about your trip. I'd love to hear about it. I love getting messages from you guys. And so, yeah, stay safe out there. Have fun. And I hope to see you guys out on the road sometime soon. Adios, amigos. Auf Wiedersehen. Do widzenia. Ciao. And I hope you guys have a good day. All right. Bye, guys. See ya. Bye. All right. Signing off on there. All right. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.